Shit! Pera! Hindi lang barya, isang buong, malutong na 1,000 piso. Nakatago sa bulsa ng isang kupas na maong pants na hinugot ko mula sa isa sa mga industrial-sized washing machines. In my heart did stupid, loud thump against the ribs. Nanlaki ang mga mata ko at parang biglang umikot ang paningin ko sa amoy ng fabric conditioner at basang damit. Bago pa man ako makahinga ng maluwag, naramdaman ko yung titig. Dahan-dahan kong iniangat ang ulo ko. Sa sulok ng kisame, isang maliit na itim na dumi ang nakatutok sa direksyon ko. Ay, si. Parang may malamig na kamay na humaplos sa batok ko. That teeny, blinking red light felt like an accusation, a spotlight sa gitna ng semi-dimly lit na laundry area. Nakita niya kaya? Sino man ang nasa likod ng kamera na iyon? Hoy, Gloria! Tulala ka diyan? Ano yan, multo sa umaga? Napatalan ako sa gulat, muntik ko nang mabitawan ang perang hawak ko. It was Rita, my coworker, her voice a little too loud for 7 in the morning. May dala siyang basket ng mga bagong labang tuwalya, at tinaasan niya ako ng kilay. Girl, okay ka lang? Para kang nakakita ng ano nga ba? Agad kong itinago ang pera sa likod ko, trying to act casual. Wala, Rita. Medyo inaantok pa. First week, di ba? Naninibago pa sa amoy ng downy. Palusot, you. She chuckled, dry sound. Sus, masasanay ka rin. Ako nga, 3 years na dito, minsan feeling ko damit na rin ako. Amoy comfort. Inilapag niya ang basket sa folding table. Si Ma'am Sofia, nag-text. Darating daw siya ng mga 9. Make sure lang daw na maayos lahat before then. Alam mo na, dragon yon pag bagong gising. Tumango lang ako, pilit nang ngumiti. Dragon. I got that vibe from Emra Sofia Alcantara during the interview. Strict, no nonsense, but she gave me chance, so couldn't complain. Kailangan ko ng trabahong to, sobra. Nang makaalis si Rita papunta sa kabilang section ng shop, pabalik sa mga dryer, muli akong napatingin sa perang hawak ko. 1,000. Malaking bagay na to, pambili ng gamot ni Junior. O kaya dagdag sa upa. Para akong pinapaso ng papel na iyon. My mind raced. Is this a test? Sabi nila, sa mga bagong empleyado, minsan may mga pain daw na iniiwan. Para makita kung honest ka. Pero paano kung hindi? Paano kung nakalimutan lang talaga ng customer? Maraming mayayamang customer dito, yung iba, parang wala lang sa kanila ang pera. I looked around. Wala namang ibang tao maliban sa amin ni Rita, at si Rita, busy sa kabilang dulo. The whirring and tumbling of the machines filled the silence. Bumalik ang tingin ko sa Keith. That unblinking eye. Parang alam niya ang iniisip ko. Temptation. It was a heavy word, heavy feeling. Ang hirap. Ang hirap-hirap. I took deep breath, steeling myself. Hindi. Hindi pwede. Kahit gaano pa kahirap ang buhay, pinalaki ako ni nanay na matakot sa Diyos at huwag kumuha ng hindi sa akin. I carefully folded the bill and slipped it into the clear Ziploc bag we used for lost and found items from pockets, usually coins, hair ties, minsan resibo. Isinulat ko sa maliit na post-it, 1,000, found in blue denim pants, men's, basket #23. Ay dinikit ko sa Ziploc. I'll walk over to the small office area, where a locked wooden box sat on a shelf. Yan ang lagayan ng mga valuable, lost and found, susi lang si Ma'am Sofia ang maihawak. I slipped the Ziploc bag through the slot, the same way you'd mail a letter. Parang may nabunot na tinik sa dibdib ko. Gumaan ng kaunti. Pero yung pakiramdam na inoobserbahan ako, hindi nawala. The next few hours passed in a blur of sorting, washing, drying, and folding. Ang daming damit. Iba't ibang tela, iba't ibang amoy ng tao. May mga damit na mukhang mamahalin, yung tipong pang-office o pang-sosyal. Meron ding mga pang-araw-araw lang, mga t-shirt na may cartoon characters, mga shorts na pambahay. Each pile of clothes told a silent story. Si Rita, medyo tsismosa. Alam mo ba, yang si basket #12, Yung may-ari niyan, si Imres de Vera, kabit daw yan ng isang politiko, she whispered conspiratorially while we were folding bedsheets. Talaga? I tried to sound interested, pero ang isip ko, lumilipad pa rin sa kiki at sa pera. Girl. At yung anak ni Ma'am Sofia, si Sir Tomas? Ay, gwapo no. Kaso, parang laging may sariling mundo. Tahimik lang, pero pag tumingin tagos hanggang kaluluwa. Kinikilig pa siya. Thomas. I'd seen him a few times. Madalas, nasa maliit na kwarto sa likod, yung may sign na monitoring office. Siguro mga late 20 na siya. Matangkad, moreno at nga, pag tumingin parang may x-ray vision. He rarely smiled. Madalas, he'd just nod or give curtly good morning. Hindi ko alam kung suplado o sadyang observer lang. Baka siya yung nanonood sa camera kanina. The thought made me shiver a bit. Around 8:45 dumating si Ma'am Sofia. She was in her late 40, always impeccably dressed, even if she was just going to a laundromat. Her eyes scanned the entire place, missing nothing. Good morning, Ma'am, sabay naming bati ni Rita. Morning. Rita, yung mga deliveries for Dintan, na ready mo na? Yes, Ma'am. Nakapack na po, ready for pick-up. Good. Gloria, baling niya sa akin, her gaze sharp. How's your first week so far? Okay naman po, Ma'am. Medyo nangangapa pa po, pero tinuturuan naman po ako ni Rita. See that you learn fast. I don't tolerate mistakes here. Efficiency is key. Tumango siya, then her eyes landed on the lockbox. Anything for the lost and found. Nagkatinginan kami ni Rita. Rita shrugged slightly, indicating it was in return. Kinakabahan ako, pero I tried to keep the voice steady. Ah, opo, Ma'am. May naiwan po sa isang pants. 1,000 po. Nilagay ko na po sa ziplock tapos sa box. For the moment, Ma'am Sofia just stared at me. Hindi ko mabasa ang ekspresyon niya. Was it surprise? Suspicion? Approval? Ang tagal ng ilang segundo na iyon. Then, her lips curved into a small, almost imperceptible smile. Good. That's good, Gloria. Honesty. I like that. Kinuha niya ang susi mula sa kanyang bag at binuksan ang box. She took out the ziplock, looked at the note, then at me again. Basket #23, huh? I'll inform the customer. Nakahinga ako ng maluwag. Grabe, parang exam. Maya-maya, pumasok si Thomas. He was carrying a laptop. Nag-angat lang siya ng tingin, a slight nod acknowledging the presence, then went straight to the safety room. Hindi man lang umiti. Suplado nga yata. Or maybe he was just busy. The rest of the morning was uneventful. More laundry, more folding. Around lunchtime, Ma'am Sofia called me to her small desk. Gloria, this is from N. Ago, the owner of the pants from Basket #23. Inabutan niya ako ng isang maliit na puting envelope. He was very grateful you found his money. He asked me to give this to you. Napakunot ang noo ko. Po? Ano po to? A small token of appreciation. Buksan mo. Nanginginig ang kamay ko nang buksan ko ang envelope. Sa loob, 2 bagong-bagong ₱500 bill 1,000. And my eyes widened. Ma'am, nako, hindi ko po matatanggap to, trabaho ko lang po yun. Nonsense, Ma'am Sofia said, waving her hand dismissively. He insisted. And frankly, I'm impressed. Hindi lahat ng tao ganyan. You could have easily kept it walang makakaalam. Walang makakaalam? Except for the his. And maybe, Thomas. And God. Salamat po, Ma'am. Salamat po talaga. I felt a warmth spread through me. Maybe this job wouldn't be so bad after all. Maybe there were still good people, good bosses. Pero yung kuryosidad ko, lalo lang lumaki. The way Ma'am Sofia said, walang makakaalam, was she testing me again? Or was she genuinely impressed? At si Thomas, ano kaya ang reaksyon niya kung nalaman niya yung tungkol sa pera? Did he see me find it? Did he see me struggle? Kinagabihan, bago ako umuwi, naglilinis ako ng mga lint filter sa mga dryer. Medyo madilim na sa parteng iyon ng shop. Most of the lights were already off, ako na lang at yung security guard sa labas ang tao. Habang nililinis ko yung huling dryer, may nahulog mula sa loob. Hindi barya. Papel. 2 piraso ng nakatuping papel. Dahan-dahan kong dinampot. The first one, when unfolded it, was a 500 peso bill in vibrate hitched. Again? Ano to, paulit-ulit na lang. The second paper, mas maliit. It was crudely drawn picture of a stick figure with at for eyes, and beside it, the words, "Next time, he won't be his." Nanlamig ang buong katawan ko. This wasn't customers' forgotten money. This felt different. This felt like a threat. Tumingala ako, diretso sa kikis camera sa pinakamalapit na sulok. This time, the little red light seemed to be blinking faster, mockingly. And then, I heard it faint click. The sound of the door to the CC room, few meters away, quietly closing. Someone was watching. And they knew. Alam nila ang ginagawa ko. Yung 500 piso at yung nakakatakot na drawing, parang apoy na nakatago sa plastic bag ko sa loob ng compartment ng murang-mura kong handbag. Hindi ako mapakali buong gabi. Paano kung may kumuha? Paano kung may makakita? Pero mas matindi yung tanong na, sino ang nag-iwan noon? At bakit? That crudely drawn stick figure with exed out eyes haunted my sleep, or what little I got of it, parang may aninong sumusunod sa akin kahit sa pag-uwi ko kagabi, bawat kaluskos ng dahon o ugong ng tricycle, napapatalon ang puso ko. Kinabukasan sa laundry shop, para akong zombie. The smell of detergent, usually comforting, clean scent, now felt suffocating. Bawat tunog ng washing machine, parang may ibinubulong na sikreto. Uy, Gloria! Anyari sa'yo, girl? Mukha kang pinagsakluban ng langit at lupa, bungad ni Rita, hawak ang tasa ng kape, ang mga mata niya'y mapanuri. Puyat ka no? First week high pa rin? Medyo lang, I mumbled, forcing a smile that probably looked more like grimace. Di lang siguro sanay sa aga ng gising. Kinuha ko ang logbook para i-check ang mga pending orders. My hands were slightly trembling. Isinilid ko na lang sa bulsa ng uniform ko, yung maliit na plastic bag na may pera at yung note. Mas safe siguro kung malapit sa akin. Pero parang may dala akong bomba. Rita just hummed, unconvinced. Sabagay. Pero wag kang papahuli kay Ma'am Sofia na ganyan, alam mo na yun, parang laging may dalaw. She leaned closer, lowering her voice. Speaking of, narinig ko kagabi bago ako umuwi, kausap niya si Sir Tomas. Parang may something about sa kick-hits. Baka may chine check. Siguro may nawawala na namang medyas ng customer. Humagikik siya. Napalunok ako. Yes, of course. That eye in the eye. Naalala ko yung click ng pinto ng TV room kagabi. Si Thomas kaya yun? At kung siya, ano ang nakita niya? Did he see me pick up the money and the note? Did he leave it there? Impossible. Bakit naman niya gagawin yun? Para ano? The morning crawled Gioy. Bawat customer na pumapasok, tinititigan ko. Sila kaya? Impossible. This felt personal. This felt like a twisted game. As tried to focus on sorting the whites from the coloreds, the delicates from the heavy-duty fabrics, but my mind kept replaying the image of the note, the blinking red light of the camera. Bandang 10:00, dumating ang isang regular customer, si Ingres de Guzman. Usually, she's all smiles and small talk, pero ngayon, she looked genuinely distressed, her forehead creased with worry. Kasama niya ang assistant niya. Sofia, iha, tawag niya kay Ma'am Sofia na kadarating lang din at nag-check ng inventory. Yes dear, I think there's a problem with Esvai last batch of laundry. The ones picked up yesterday afternoon. Ma'am Sofia immediately looked concerned. Oh, what seems to be the issue, Ingres de Guzman? Was anything damaged? No, not damaged, thank goodness. But something's missing. Neres de Guzman wrung her hands. It was a silk scarf and Hermes. A gift from Isove husband. It was in the pocket of a cream blazer. I specifically remember putting it there because I was planning to wear it last night. In my blood ran cold. Missing item. Ma'am Sophia's professional smile tightened. Are you absolutely certain it was with the laundry you sent, Neres de Guzman? Sometimes these things get misplaced at home, T. I am positive, Sophia. I wouldn't make a fuss if I weren't. That scarf is very sentimental and frankly, quite expensive. Her voice was firm, a hint of accusation lacing her tone. Sino ang nag-asikaso ng batch ni Neres de Guzman kahapon? Ma'am Sophia asked, her voice sharp, scanning the small log sheet on the counter. Rita, who was arranging some hangers nearby but was clearly all ears, immediately piped up. Ay, ma'am, si Gloria po yung nakaduty sa sorting and pre-check nung batch na iyon kahapon ng hapon. Ako po yung nag-final fold and pack, pero dumaan po sa kanya lahat yun. Rita's voice was sweet, almost too innocent. Then she added, as if an afterthought, Saka, ma'am. Di ba po si Gloria, yun din po yung nakakita nung pera nung isang araw? Baka po alam nyo na baka may nakita na naman siyang valuable. Iswa's jaw tightened. The implication was clear. Swerte sa pagpulot ng pera, baka swerte rin sa pagkuha ng iba. The way Rita said, valuable, dripped with sarcasm. Napatingin sa akin si Ma'am Sophia, her eyes narrowed. Gloria, come with me to the office. That office was just a small, partitioned area at the back, barely big enough for Ma'am Sophia's desk and chair. Thomas was there, hunched over his laptop, pair of headphones on but not covering his ears completely. He glanced up when we entered, his expression unreadable as always, then went back to whatever he was doing. Or pretending to do. Gloria, Ma'am Sophia began, her voice low and serious. You heard Neres de Guzman. A very expensive scarf is missing. And you were the one who processed her items yesterday. My heart pounded against the ribs. Gulat. Shock, cold and sharp. And then, you wave of heat, galit. Anger. Ma'am, wala po akong kinuha. Maniwala po kayo sa akin. Her voice trembled slightly, not from fear this time, but from the injustice of it. The scarf was in a blazer pocket. Similar to where you found the 1,000 pesos the other day, Ma'am Sophia pointed out, her gaze unwavering. Rita also mentioned you've been distracted. And you did find money just recently. Pero ma'am, yung pera pong yun, sinoli ko naman po agad. Protested, with voice rising a bit. Alam niyo po yun. Bakit ko naman po sisirain ang tiwala niyo, lalo na't first week ko pa lang dito? The unfairness of it all stung. After I'd been so careful, so honest. After I'd resisted the temptation of that first isang libo. Desperate times, Gloria, Ma'am Sophia said coolly. People do things they wouldn't normally do when they're desperate. And you needed this job badly, didn't you? Her words hit me like a slap. Yes, I needed this job. Desperately. But did that automatically make me a thief? Hindi po ako magnanakaw, Ma'am Sophia, I said, looking her straight in the eye, trying to convey all the sincerity I felt. Kahit gaano pa po kahirap ang buhay, hindi ko po gagawin yun. I could feel Thomas' eyes on me. Hindi siya kumikibo, but his presence was a heavyweight in the small room. Was he judging me too? Did he also think he was capable of stealing? Ma'am Sophia sighed, rubbing her temples. I valued your honesty the other day, Gloria. I really did. That's why this is so disappointing. Neres de Guzman is a very important client. I can't just ignore this. She looked at me, her face a mask of stern disapproval. If that scarf isn't found. So don't know, Gloria. I'll have to consider my options. We have reputation to protect. Pero Ma'am T. The threat of losing the job I desperately needed, loomed large. And the shame of being branded a thief. This is a small shop, Gloria. Word gets around fast. Her eyes flicked towards the main area, where I could see Rita pretending to be busy but undoubtedly trying to eavesdrop. That's Chismosa. For sure, via lunchtime, the entire neighborhood sari-sari store would know that the new girl at Alcantara Laundry was a suspected thief. Her reputation would be ruined before it even began. The silence in the room was thick with unspoken accusations. Ma'am Sophia looked torn but resolute. I felt a surge of helpless anger. How could she prove their innocence? It was my word against wealthy customers and Rita's subtle, poisonous insinuations. I'm very disappointed, Gloria, Ma'am Sophia said finally, her voice tinged with a finality that made my stomach drop. Until this is cleared up, I'm afraid I'll have to tea. Just as she was about to deliver the verdict, a calm, low voice cut through the tension. Minnie. It was Thomas. He had taken off his headphones and was looking directly at his mother. Perhaps we should review the thief's footage from yesterday thoroughly. All angles covering the sorting and packing areas. Before making any conclusions. Ma'am Sophia turned to him, surprised by his sudden intervention. Even he was taken aback. His face was neutral, but his eyes, when they briefly met mine, held an intensity that was hard to decipher. Was he defending me? Or was he suggesting a way to definitively prove June's guilt? Rita, who had managed to inch closer to the office door, looked momentarily deflated, like a balloon losing air. Is my breath caught in my throat? The aces. The silent witness. It could be in my salvation, or in my damnation, especially if it somehow caught me looking even slightly suspicious near Rex de Guzman's items. And what about the note and the limang found last night, the one I still had hidden in the pocket? If they reviewed all the footage. My initial shock and anger were now mixed with new, potent wave of fear. What exactly did Thomas intend to find? The words "review the thief's footage" echoed in his ears long after Thomas said them. Parang yun na ang magiging sentensya ko. Habang naghihintay kami sa resulta ng key investigation ni Sir Tomas, ang bawat minuto ay parang isang oras. And Rex de Guzman had left, still looking upset but somewhat placated. Gisay, Ma'am Sophia's promise to get to the bottom of it. Ako naman, pinabalik sa trabaho, but how could I concentrate? Ang mga kamay ko nanginginig habang tinutupi ko ang mga damit, bawat tingin ni Rita, parang may kasamang panghusga. Takot. Yun ang nangingibabaw. Takot na mawalan ng trabaho, takot na mapagbintangang magnanakaw. Girl, anyari sa meeting nyo? Ba't parang problemado si Ma'am, usisa ni Rita, nung nag-isa na lang kami sa folding area? Kunwari concerned. Wala ayun. May chine check lang, I said dismissively, trying to sound nonchalant. Pero alam kong hindi siya naniniwala. Her eyes gleamed with knowing, almost predatory, light. Alam na alam niyang may issue. At alam kong nag-i-enjoy siya. Lunch break. Usually ate, baon, kanin at kung anong ulam na natira kagabi, sa maliit na pantry sa likod. Pero ngayon, didn't have the appetite. Ang sikmura ko parang binubuhol. Instead, I found a relatively quiet corner near the back exit, beside a stack of empty laundry baskets. Kailangan kong makausap si Junior. Kinuha ko ang luma kong cellphone, yung keypad pa. The screen was cracked, but it still worked. Nagload ako ng A10 para makatawag. After a few rings, a small, weak voice answered. Hello. Nay. My heart clenched. Junior, anak. Kamusta ka? Kumain ka na ba ng tanghalian? Opo, Nay. Si Tita Marisa nagluto ng lugaw. Masarap po. His voice was thin, and I could hear his occasional cough in the background. Junior, give a 7-year-old son. Ang dahilan ng lahat ng pagsisikap ko. Ang inspirasyon ko. Ang sakit ko. He had been diagnosed with a mild case of congenital heart disease few years back. Hindi naman life-threatening agad, sabi ng doktor, as long as he took his maintenance medicine, ate healthy, and avoided strenuous activities. Pero yung maintenance medicine at healthy food, yun ang problema. Mahal. And his condition meant frequent checkups, occasional hospital visits, when he caught a bad cold that would worsen his breathing. A previous job as kasambahay barely covered our daily needs, let alone his medical expenses. Kaya noong nakita ko ang hiring sign sa Alcantara Laundry, grabbed the chance, hoping for a slightly better salary, something more stable. Good boy, anak. Inom ka ng gamot mo on time, ha? At wag masyadong maglilikot, baka mapagod ka. Opo, Nay. Miss na po kita. Uwi ka na po. Lungkot. Ang bigat sa dibdib. That simple question always got to me. I left him with his younger sister, Marissa, in our small rented room in a crowded part of the city, while I work here, staying in a cramped staff house near the shop to save on fare and time. Masakit iwan ang anak mo, pero mas masakit kung wala kang maibibigay sa kanya. Malapit na, anak. Konting tiis lang, okay. Pag nakaipon si nanay, uuwi ako. Promise. I love you, Junior. I love you too, Nay. Then, another small cough. Pagkatapos ng tawag, napaupo ako sa sahig, sumandal sa mga basket. Tears pricked in my eyes. The weight of everything, the accusation, the fear of losing my job, Junior's fragile health, the constant struggle, it all came crashing down. Para akong nalulunod. Kailangan ko ng perang to, hindi lang para sa akin, kundi para kay Junior. Yung 500 at yung nakakatakot na note, nasa bulsa ko pa rin. Should tell Ma'am Sophia about it. Pero paano kung lalo lang akong pagdudahan? Baka isipin nila, gumagawa lang ako ng kwento. Biglang may narinig akong kaluskos. Napatingala ako. Standing a few feet away, near a slightly ajar door of what looked like a storage room, was Ma'am Sophia. She was holding cleaning spray and a rag, but her eyes were fixed on me. Nakita niya kaya akong umiiyak? Narinig niya kaya yung usapan namin ni Junior? Her expression was unreadable. Hindi galit, pero hindi rin maamo. More like thoughtful. Nag-iwas ako ng tingin, hastily wiping the tears. Nakakahiya. Gloria, she said, her voice softer than usual. Ma'am Sophia. Sorry po. Nagpahinga lang po saglit. I scrambled to my feet. She didn't say anything for a moment, just looked at me. Then, are you okay? It was a simple question, pero ewan ko, parang biglang bumigay yung defenses ko. Oo po, ma'am. Medyo pagod lang po. It was a lie, of course. I was far from okay. She nodded slowly. CJ. Just get back to work when you're ready. Then she turned and walked back towards the main shop area. Her reaction, or lack of it, was unsettling. Hindi siya nagtanong kung bakit ako umiiyak. Hindi siya nag-comment. Parang wala lang. Pero yung tingin niya, parang may nagets siya. Pagdududa. Pero this time, hindi pagdududa sa honesty ko, kundi parang pagdududa kung ano ba talaga ang bigat na dinadala ko. Or maybe it was just imagining things. Later that afternoon, while I was loading a washing machine, Rita sidled up to me again. Ang kulit talaga. So, any news sa investigation ni Sir Thomas? She asked, her voice dripping with faint concern. Nahanap na ba yung scarf? Kawawa naman si Imbres de Guzman. Hermes pa naman yun. Mahal yun, di ba? Hindi ko alam, Rita. Trabaho ko lang ang ginagawa ko, I replied curtly, trying to end the conversation. Hay naku, girl. Mahirap pag napagbibintangan. Lalo na kung alam mo na. She lowered her voice. Narinig ko kasi kanina si Ma'am Sophia, may kausap sa phone. Parang taga-probinsya. Kinakamusta yung anak daw. Tapos nabanggit yung gamot at ospital. Sino kaya yun, no? My blood turned to ice. How did she? Nanlaki ang mga mata ko, pero pinilit kong huwag magpahalata. Wala akong alam sa sinasabi mo, Rita. Rita just smirked. Sure ka? Baka naman may tinatago ka? Alam mo na, secrets have a way of coming out. Lalo na dito sa laundry shop. Maraming chismis na umiikot, kasabay ng mga damit sa dryer. Her eyes flicked towards Ma'am Sophia's office, then back to me, a malicious glint in them. Just be careful, Gloria. Walls have ears. And some ears are very, very interested in juicy stories. She sauntered off, leaving me stunned and shaking. Si Ma'am Sophia pala yung narinig kong kausap ko sa phone kanina. Akala ko nasa storage room siya. No, she must have heard me talking to Junior from her office, the door slightly ajar. And Rita, that viper, somehow pieced it together or overheard Ma'am Sophia talking about it. My secret was out. At least, parts of it alam na nilang may anak ako at may sakit. And Rita would surely use that information. How? I didn't know yet. But it filled me with this dreadful sense of foreboding. The rest of the day, I felt like I was walking on eggshells. Bawat kilos ko, feeling ko may nanonood. Bawat bulungan, feeling ko ako ang topic. When Thomas finally emerged from the thesis room late in the afternoon, he looked tired. He didn't say anything to me, just gave a brief report to his mother in hushed tones. Ma'am Sophia listened intently, her expression unreadable. Anong nakita nila? Was the missing scarf on the footage? Did they see who took it, if anyone did? More importantly, did they see me pick up the 500 and the threatening note last night? My heart hammered against the ribs. Before closing time, Ma'am Sophia called me to her desk again. Rita was conveniently nearby, fixing the display of fabric conditioners. Gloria, Ma'am Sophia started, her voice neutral. Thomas reviewed the footage from yesterday. From all angles. He spent hours on it. I held the breath. This was it. And I managed to squeak out. Ma'am Sophia looked at me, then at Thomas who was standing behind the door, his arms crossed, watching. Well, the footage is inconclusive about the scarf. Inconclusive? Anong ibig sabihin on? We couldn't clearly see the scarf at any point, not in the blazer pocket when it arrived, not during sorting, not anywhere, Ma'am Sophia explained. It's possible Ms. de Guzman was mistaken and it wasn't there to begin with. Or it's also possible it was very well concealed. Her eyes still held a trace of suspicion. Relief washed over me, so potent it almost made my knees buckle. At least hindi ako directly accused based on the video. Pero kasunod noon, yung kaba. What about the other thing? However, Ma'am Sophia continued, her gaze sharpening again. Thomas did find something else on the footage from last night. Right before closing. At the back, near the dryers. My stomach plummeted. Oh no. She looked straight at me. He saw you pick something up, Gloria. Something you didn't report. Something you put in your pocket. Rita gasped theatrically, her hand flying to her mouth. Oh, Esrai. Ano kaya yun? The silence was deafening. All eyes were on me. Thomas was still beside the door, his expression unreadable, but his eyes were fixed on me, waiting. Ma'am Sophia leaned forward. So, Gloria. What was it that you found last night? And Gavin, didn't you tell us? Parang may nagbago sa hangin sa Alcantara Laundry pagkatapos ng insidente nang nawawalang scarf at yung pag-amin ko tungkol sa perang may kasamang threat. Hindi yung tipong biglang naging close kami ni Ma'am Sophia, pero there was a shift. A subtle understanding, maybe. Nung kinuwento ko sa kanya, between sobs and nervous explanations, ang tungkol kay Junior at sa mga gamot niya, at yung takot ko na baka yung note ay galing sa kung sinumang gustong manakot sa akin, nakita ko ang paglambot sa mga mata niya. It wasn't pity, more like empathy. She didn't offer solutions, but she listened. And for me, that was a huge thing. Mag-iingat ka, Gloria, she'd said, her voice surprisingly gentle. At kung may kailangan ka, magsabi ka lang. Kahit si Sir Tomas, parang iba na rin. He still didn't talk much, pero yung mga tingin niya, hindi na kasing sharp. Minsan, nahuhuli ko siyang nakatingin sa akin habang nagtatrabaho ako, tapos iiwas siya agad. One time, I was struggling to lift a particularly heavy basket of wet denims, at bigla na lang siyang lumitaw sa tabi ko. Ako na, he said, his voice low, then effortlessly lifted it to the sorting table. Walang ngiti, walang extra words. Pero yung simpleng gesture na iyon, it felt nice. Kilig. Ewan. Siguro more of pag-asa. Na baka naman, hindi lahat ng tao dito ay against sa akin. Kaya naman, yung mga sumunod na linggo, medyo gumaan ang pakiramdam ko. I focused on NV work, determined to prove na karapat-dapat ako sa tiwala, kahit kakarampot pa lang yun. I even started saving little from Eva's salary, plus, yung token of appreciation ni Ego noon, in a small alkansya for Junior's upcoming checkup. Si Rita. Ayun, parang lalong naging plastic. Overly friendly to the point of being creepy. Uy, Gloria, kamusta si Junior? Need mo ng tulong sa pagbili ng gamot? Sabihin mo lang, baka may extra ako, she'd say with a smile that didn't quite reach her eyes. Alam kong may meaning sa likod ng mga kabaitan niya. Parang ahas na naghihintay ng tamang pagkakataon para manuklaw. I just kept my distance, polite but wary. One Tuesday afternoon, busy kami. Dagsa ang customers, yung iba naghahabol para sa weekend. Ma'am Sophia was out, may meeting daw with a supplier. Si Sir Thomas, nasa case room niya as usual, probably monitoring the chows or doing whatever it is he did in there. Ako at si Rita lang ang nasa floor, plus 2 part-timers na bagong hire. Around Tatluza, a frantic call came in. Si Ma'am Sophia. Her voice was tight with panic. Rita. Gloria. Nasaan ang cash box? Yung metal na gray, usually nasa ilalim ng drawer ko. Nagkatinginan kami ni Rita. The cash box. Yun yung ginagamit ni Ma'am Sophia for petty cash, and sometimes, pag may malalaking bayad ang customers na cash, doon niya muna nilalagay bago i-deposit. Nandito po, Ma'am, sa drawer nyo, sagot ni Rita, habang binubuksan ang drawer sa main counter. Check it. Now, utos ni Ma'am Sophia. Kinuha ni Rita ang box. It was locked, as usual. Only Ma'am Sophia had the key. Nakalock po, Ma'am. I know. May emergency spare key dyan sa ilalim ng resibo machine. Buksan nyo. Bilisan nyo. Nanginginig ang kamay ni Rita habang kinakapa ang susi. I felt a knot of dread forming in my stomach. Anong meron? Finally, Rita got the box open. She gasped. Ma'am. Ma'am wala. Anong wala? Sigaw ni Ma'am Sophia sa kabilang linya, naririnig ko kahit medyo malayo ako. Wala po yung pera, Ma'am. Yung malaking plastic envelope na mailamang 50,000. Para po sa pambayad sa bagong dryer. Kaninang umaga lang po natin yun binilang, di ba? 50,000 pesos. Nanlaki ang mga mata ko. That was a huge amount. Naalala ko nga, Ma'am Sophia was talking about it this morning, how she needed to pay the supplier in cash today. Impossible. Ma'am Sophia shrieked. Sigurado ka, Rita. Baka na-misplace mo lang dyan sa drawer. O wala po talaga, Ma'am. Empty yung envelope. Oh, my God. Rita's voice was high-pitched with panic. Or was it something else? The line went dead. Siguro binabaan na ni Ma'am Sophia. Rita looked at me, her eyes wide, feigning shock. Nawawala yung pera, Gloria. 50,000. Sino nakukuha noon? My mind raced. Sino nga ba? The part-timers were new, and they mostly stayed at the back, washing and drying. Rita. She was the one who opened the box. But she seemed genuinely shocked. Or was she just a very good actress? Then, a cold dread washed over me. Ako. I was here all morning. I had access to the front counter area when it was getting supplies or talking to customers. It wasn't long before Ma'am Sophia arrived, her face pale, her lips a thin, hard line. Si Sir Tomas, lumabas na rin ng TV room, mukhang na-sense niya ang tension. Nasaan? Ma'am Sophia demanded, her voice trembling with suppressed fury. Sino nang huling humawak sa drawer na to? Ako po, ma'am, nung kinuha ko yung box, sabi ni Rita. Pero bago po yun, si Gloria po yung madalas dito sa counter kaninang umaga, di ba, Gloria? Nung nag-a-assist ka sa mga customer. All eyes turned to me. Sakit. The accusation, unspoken but heavy in the air, pierced through me. Ma'am, wala po akong alam diyan, I said, the voice shaking. Hindi po ako lumapit sa drawer niyo buong araw maliban kung may kukunin na supplies, at hindi ko po alam kung nasaan yung susi ng cash box. Pero nakita kita kanina, Gloria, Rita interjected, her voice laced with false sympathy. Nung umalis si Ma'am Sophia, parang may tinitingnan ka dyan sa counter. Medyo matagal ka nga doon, C.E. Ballpen at logbook ang hinahanap ko. I snapped, the injustice making a blood boil. Galit. This was set up. Rita was deliberately trying to frame me. Enough. Ma'am Sophia's voice cut through the air. She looked from me to Rita, then to the two terrified part-timers cowering in the corner. Thomas, the atheist. Check it now. From the moment left until called. Thomas nodded, his expression grim, and disappeared back into his room. The wait was agonizing. Parang aatakihin ako sa puso. I knew he didn't take the money. Pero yung paraan ng pagtingin sa akin ni Rita, yung desperation sa mukha ni Ma'am Sophia, it was terrifying. Takot. What if the sisi somehow lied? Paano kung may ginawa si Rita? After what felt like an eternity, Thomas came out. He was holding a tablet. His face was unreadable, but there was certain heaviness in his eyes as he looked at me. Oh God. Well? Ma'am Sophia asked, her voice barely a whisper. Thomas didn't say anything. He just turned the tablet so we could all see. The footage showed the counter area. It was time-stamped. Around 30 minutes after Ma'am Sophia left, the camera clearly showed me. Ako nga. Lumapit ako sa counter, lumingalinga na parang may tinitingnan, then leaned over, with a hand reaching towards the drawer where the cash box was kept. The angle wasn't perfect, you couldn't see exactly what the hand was doing, but it lingered there for a few seconds. Then, I straightened up, looked around again, and walked away quickly. His jaw dropped. Hindi anong? See? Rita gasped, pointing at the screen. Sabi ko na nga ba? Siya yun, ma'am. Kitang-kita. That's not what happened. I cried, the voice hoarse with disbelief and panic. Lumapit ako dyan, pero hinahanap ko yung extra stapler. Hindi ko ginalaw yung drawer. The footage doesn't lie, Gloria, Ma'am Sophia said, her voice flat, devoid of the warmth thought we had started to build. Disappointment radiated from her. 50,000 pesos. And you were the one. Pero ma'am, bakit ko naman gagawin yun? Alam niyo pong kailangan ko ng trabaho. Alam niyo ang sitwasyon ko. The unfairness was a physical pain in the chest. Sakit. Sobrang sakit. Marahil, yun nga ang dahilan, Ma'am Sophia said coldly. Kailangan mo ng pera. Desperada ka. Tears streamed down in my face. Hindi po ako. Ma'am, maniwala po kayo. Si Rita baka siya. I looked wildly at Rita, who just shook her head, feigning innocence and hurt. Ako? Bakit naman ako, Gloria? Ikaw ang nasa video. The video is clear, Gloria, Ma'am Sophia said, her voice hardening. Thomas, play it again. Zoom in. Thomas hesitated for a fraction of a second, his eyes flicking to me, then to his mother, then back to the tablet. He tapped the screen. The damning footage played again. This time, as the image leaned over the counter, Thomas zoomed in. You still couldn't see my hand going into the drawer, but the implication was strong. And then as the image straightened up, something was visible. Is my hand going into the uniform pocket? As if I was hiding something. Ma'am Sophia's voice was sharp. Anong nilagay mo sa bulsa mo, Gloria? Natigilan ako. What? Didn't put anything in the pocket then. My mind raced back. Stapler. No, I didn't find it there. Then what? My hand instinctively went to the pocket. The pocket where usually kept the old, cracked cell phone. And yung maliit na plastic bag na mailamang 500 at yung threatening note from days ago. I'd forgotten to take it out. Oh, my God. Before I could explain, Rita spoke. Baka yung pera, Ma'am. Baka doon niya itinago. Ma'am Sophia's eyes, cold and hard, bore into me. Buksan mo ang bulsa mo, Gloria. Ngayon din ni. My whole body was trembling. This was a nightmare. It's perfectly orchestrated nightmare, and Rita was the puppeteer. Slowly, Jima's shaking hand reached into Jima's pocket and pulled out the small, clear plastic bag inside. The 500 bill and the folded piece of paper with the crude drawing were clearly visible. Rita gasped loudly. Pera nga. At may kasama pang sulat. Ano yan, listahan ng mga nanakawin niya? Ma'am Sophia stared at the plastic bag, then at Jima's tear-streaked face. The trust we had started to build shattered into a million pieces. The disappointment in her eyes was like a knife twisting in my gut. So, it was you all along, she whispered, her voice filled with chilling mix of anger and betrayal. The scarf, this 50,000 and God knows what else. You played me, Gloria. You used your sub-story about your son, T. Hindi po. Ma'am, yung perang yan po yung sinabi ko sa inyo. Yung may threat. Hindi po yan yung 50,000. Splitted, desperation clawing at in my throat. But my words sounded hollow, even to my own ears. The evidence was too damning. The video, the money in his pocket. Ma'am Sophia turned to Thomas. Thomas, call the police. Ma! Thomas protested, his voice strained. Wait, let's just. No, Thomas. Ma'am Sophia's voice was like steel. She's a thief. And she needs to pay for what she did. Call them. Now. The world crumbled. The police. Arrested. Junior. I looked at Thomas, a silent plea in the eyes. He looked back, his face a mask of conflict, torn between his mother's command and something else. Something I couldn't quite decipher. But he didn't move. He didn't reach for his phone. Rita watched with barely concealed triumph. My legs gave out. Napaluhod ako sa sahig, the sobs racking my body. Hindi po ako. Pakiusap, maniwala po kayo. Sakit. Galit. Takot. They consumed me. This couldn't be happening. Tawagan mo na ang pulis, Thomas. Ano pang hinihintay mo? Ma'am Sophia's voice was sharp, cutting through envy sobs. Nakaluhod pa rin ako, the cold tiles of the laundry shop floor seeping into the bones, parang kasing lamig ng nararamdaman kong pag-asa na unti-unting namamatay. This was it, my life was over. Makukulong ako para sa kasalanang hindi ko ginawa. Si Junior, paano na siya? Si Rita, nakatayo sa gilid, may ngiting tagumpay na pilit tinatago sa likod ng maskara ng pagkukunwaring awa. Kawawa ka naman, Gloria. Sino ba namang mag-aakala, she said, her voice dripping with fake sympathy. Halos masuka ako. Pero si Thomas, he wasn't moving. Nakatayo lang siya, hawak pa rin ang tablet, ang mga mata niya'y pabalik-balik sa akin, sa nanay niya, at sa screen ng tablet. Parang may internal battle na nagaganap sa loob niya. Thomas! Ma'am Sophia urged again, her patience wearing thin. Ma, sandali lang, Thomas finally said, his voice surprisingly firm. He took a step forward, away from the door, closer to the center of the tense circle we had formed. May hindi yata tayo napansin sa video. Nanlaki ang mata ni Rita. Ano nang hindi napansin, Sir Thomas? Kitang-kita naman, di ba? Siya yung kumuha. Ma'am Sophia looked at her son, frowning. Anak, malinaw na ang lahat. Huwag mo nang pahabain pa to. Pero Thomas ignored them both. He looked directly at me, his gaze intense. Gloria, yung plastic bag na iyan. Yung may lamang pera at sulat, kailan mo pa iyan huling nilabas sa bulsa mo bago ngayon? Napakunot ang noo ko, trying to think through envy tears. Hindi ko na po matandaan, sir. Siguro po nung isang araw pa, nung pinakita ko kay Ma'am Sophia. Bakit po? Thomas nodded slowly, then turned the tablet towards his mother again, his finger hovering over the specific part of the screen. Ma, tingnan niyo po ito ulit. This is the footage from 3 days ago. Nung unang beses na may nawawalang pera si Gloria, yung may threat. He played short clip. It showed me, near the dryers, picking up the same plastic bag with the 500 and the note. Then, I put it inside right uniform pocket. Right pocket, Thomas stated calmly. Then, he switched the footage back to today's theft. At ito yung kanina. Nung kinuha raw ni Gloria yung 50,000. He played the part where the image leaned over the counter, then straightened up, and a hand went into the pocket. Tingnan niyo pong maigi, which pocket? Ma'am Sophia leaned closer, her eyes narrowed. Rita also craned her neck, a flicker of unease now visible on her face. On the screen, Jib's image clearly slipped something into my left uniform pocket. Left pocket, Thomas announced. The 500 and the note, Ma, yung nakuha natin sa kanya ngayon, was from her right pocket. Kung iyon ang itinago niya kanina after allegedly taking the 50,000, bakit nasa kaliwang bulsa yung kamay niya sa video? A stunned silence filled the room. Gulat. Parang biglang may liwanag na sumilip sa madilim na tunnel. And why sobs hitched? Ano nang ibig sabihin ito? Pero baka nalito lang siya ng bulsa. Rita stammered, her confidence wavering. O baka may iba pa siyang itinago sa kaliwang bulsa. Possible, Thomas conceded. Pero there's more. He swiped on the tablet, and a different screen appeared, a split screen. On one side was the footage of me stealing the money from the counter. On the other side was footage of Rita. This, Thomas said, pointing to Rita's side, is from about 10 minutes before Gloria supposedly went to the counter. Ito yung time na sinabi ni Rita na nasa stockroom siya, kumukuha ng bagong fabric conditioner. The footage showed Rita, not in the stockroom, but near the main counter. She was alone. She quickly glanced around, then her hand darted towards the same drawer where the cash box was kept. She fumbled with something for a few seconds. It looked like she was trying to pick a lock or use a duplicate key. Then, her hand disappeared into the drawer. After a moment, she pulled out a thick, white envelope, exactly like the one Ma'am Sophia described for the 50,000. Rita quickly looked around again, then slipped the envelope into the large pocket of her apron. She then walked briskly towards the stockroom. The entire sequence took less than 30 seconds. Rita's face turned ghostly white. Hindi. Hindi totoo yan. Edited yan. Sinisiraan niyo ako, she shrieked, her voice cracking. The timestamps on both footages are clear, Rita, Thomas said, his voice like ice. And this is a system. It's new. Top of the line. Very difficult to tamper with, unless you have admin access. Which, I believe, only I have. He looked pointedly at Rita. Unless may iba pa palang marunong dito. Ma'am Sophia stared at the screen, then at Rita, then back at the screen. Her face was a mixture of shock, dawning horror, and incredible anger. Rita, she whispered, her voice trembling. Ma'am Sophia, maniwala po kayo sa akin. Sila ang may gawa niyan. Pinagtutulungan nila ako. Rita was starting to panic, her eyes darting around like a trapped animal. At yung video ni Gloria? Ma'am Sophia asked Thomas, her voice low. Bakit parang totoo yung sa kanya? Thomas sighed. I checked the raw files, but the clip of Gloria at the counter it's looped. It's a very short segment, maybe 5 seconds long, of her genuinely looking for a stapler earlier this morning. Pero inulit-ulit, then spliced to make it look like she was there longer and to coincide with the time the money was supposedly taken. Tapos, yung part na may isinubo siya sa bulsa, that was from a different time din, possibly nung chinek niya yung cellphone niya. Someone with basic video editing skills could do it, especially if they had access to the raw footage from multiple cameras. He paused, then looked directly at Rita. The main TT's terminal here in the office is password protected. Pero yung backup recording unit sa small storage room, yung luma. I noticed this morning that the door was slightly ajar. And the lock seemed tampered with. Rita's composure completely crumbled. Hindi wala akong alam di. She whimpered, backing away. Rita, Ma'am Sophia said, her voice dangerously calm. Saan mo dinala ang pera? Rita shook her head violently, tears now streaming down her face. O wala akong kinuha. Ma'am, please. Ang galing mong umarte, Rita, Ma'am Sophia spat, her earlier distress now replaced guilt cold fury. Ang galing mong manira ng kapwa. All this time, ako ang pinagmumukha mong tanga. Pati si Gloria, idadamay mo sa kabulastugan mo. She strode towards Rita, who flinched. Saan? Ang pera. Suddenly, one of the part-timers, a deaf girl named Lena, spoke up, her voice trembling. Ma'am, nakita ko po si Ate Rita kanina pumasok po siya sa CC ng matagal tapos po, nung lumabas siya, parang may maisiniksik po siya sa ilalim ng lababo, sa likod ng mga timba ng panlinis. All eyes darted towards the restroom. Ma'am Sophia didn't even hesitate. She marched to the seas, with Thomas and a now completely defeated-looking Rita trailing behind. I slowly got to my feet, my legs still wobbly, a huge wave of relief washing over me, so potent it left me breathless. Pag-asa. Totoo pala. May pag-asa pa. A few moments later, Ma'am Sophia emerged from the restroom, holding the familiar white plastic envelope. It looked a bit crumpled, but it was unmistakably the one. So, ito pala ang tinatago mo, Ma'am Sophia said, her voice dripping with contempt as she waved the envelope in front of Rita's face. Rita just sobbed, covering her face with her hands. Ma'am Sophia turned to me. Her eyes, which were so full of anger and disappointment just moments ago, were now filled with a complex mix of emotions, remorse, relief, and something akin to admiration. Gloria G. She began, her voice thick with emotion. Gloria, I am so sorry. Tears welled up in her own eyes. Patawarin mo ako sa mga nasabi ko. Sa pagdududa ko sa'yo. Hindi ko alam na ganito pala kasama ang ugali ng taong to. She gestured angrily towards Rita. I just nodded, unable to speak, the tears still flowing, but this time, they were tears of relief, of vindication. Kung hindi dahil kay Thomas T. Ma'am Sophia looked at her son with immense pride and gratitude. Kung hindi niya napansin yung detalye sa bulsa mo, kung hindi siya nag-effort na halungkatin lahat ng footage, baka napaniwala na tayo ng demonitang to. Thomas simply gave a small, almost imperceptible nod, then looked away, faint blush creeping up his neck. Parang nahihiya pa siya sa papuri. As for you, Rita, Ma'am Sophia said, her voice turning to steel again as she faced the cowering woman. Hindi ko alam kung ano nang pumasok sa isip mo para gawin to, but this is grand larceny. An attempted framing. You are fired. Effective immediately. At sisiguraduhin kong mananagot ka sa pulis. Rita let out a wail of despair. The next hour was a blur. The police were called, but this time for Rita. Statements were taken. Ma'am Sophia, true to her word, pressed charges. Rita was escorted out of the laundry shop in handcuffs, still sobbing and protesting her innocence, but no one was listening anymore. When the commotion died down, Ma'am Sophia approached me again. The two part-timers were quietly cleaning up, avoiding eye contact, probably still in shock. Thomas was back in his tizzy room, but the door was slightly open. Gloria, Ma'am Sophia said softly, placing a hand on the arm. I can't apologize enough. Sa lahat ng pinagdaanan mo dito dahil sa akin, dahil sa maling akala. Okay lang po, ma'am, I whispered, the voice still shaky. Ang mahalaga po, nalaman natin ang totoo. Hindi okay lang, she insisted. You were wrongly accused. You suffered. And through it all, you remained honest. She paused, then a small, genuine smile touched her lips. Alam mo, yung 50,000 pesos may reward sanang nakalaan para sa makakapagbigay ng impormasyon para mabawi yun. Since, technically, ikaw at si Thomas ang naging dahilan para mabawi yun at malaman ang katotohanan. She reached into the recovered envelope, took out thick wad of bills, and counted out 5 crisp 1,000 peso bills. 5,000 pesos. Consider this EE bonus. For your honesty, for your courage, and for all the trouble you've been through. Pasensya na, ito lang muna. She pressed the money into Jinvai's hand. And my eyes widened. Ma'am, nako, hindi na po kailangan. Kailangan, she said firmly, but her eyes were kind. You deserve it, Gloria. More than deserve it, see. She then added, her voice a bit softer, and perhaps this can help a little with Junior's needs. Tears welled up in Jinvai's eyes again, but this time, they were tears of gratitude. Genuine, overwhelming gratitude. Salamat po, Ma'am Sophia. Maraming salamat po. From the corner of SVI, I saw Thomas step out of his room. He wasn't looking at me, but at his mother, a rare, small smile on his face. And for the first time, when his eyes briefly met mine, there was no suspicion, no unreadable intensity. Just warmth. And maybe, just maybe, a little bit of admiration. Pag-asa. It bloomed fully in Eve's chest. Maybe, just maybe, things were finally starting to look up. The next few days at Alcantara Laundry felt different. Lighter. Parang yung mabigat na ulap na matagal nang nakalambong sa shop, bigla na lang hinipan ng hangin. Wala na si Rita at ang kanyang toxic presence. The two part-timers, Lena and Mary, were still a bit shell-shocked from what happened, pero mas naging masipag sila, perhaps out of relief or newfound respect for Ma'am Sophia's fairness. I felt like I could finally breathe. Yung bigat sa dibdib ko, yung takot na bawat kilos ko ay minamasdan at hinuhusgahan na wala na. Ma'am Sophia was well, she was still Ma'am Sophia, efficient, a bit strict, demanding of quality work. Pero may bago ng layer sa aming relasyon, tiwala. A genuine, hard-earned trust. Minsan, nahuhuli ko siyang nakangiti sa akin, a small, warm smile that reached her eyes. She even started asking about Junior, how he was doing, kung kailan ang next check-up niya. Siguraduhin mong makaka-day off ka noon, Gloria, she'd say. Family first, always. And Thomas. Si Sir Thomas. He was still quiet, still a man of few words. Pero yung mga tingin niya, hindi na kasing ilap. There were times, pag nagkakasalubong kami sa hallway o pag may inaabot akong report sa kanya, our eyes would meet for a second longer than necessary. And in those seconds, I'd feel a strange flutter in the chest. Kilig. Yung totoong kilig, hindi yung nervyos na kilig. Minsan, he'd offer a small, almost tavy smile. Once, he even initiated a short conversation, asking about the commute, kung nahihirapan ba ako. It was nothing profound, pero para sa isang Tomas Alcantara, it felt like a milestone. Yung 5,000 reward na bigay ni Ma'am Sophia, malaking tulong yun. Nakabili ako ng mas maraming gamot para kay Junior, at nakapagtabi para sa darating niyang check-up. But more than the money, it was the gesture. The acknowledgement. The apology. Yun ang mas mahalaga. One Saturday, Ma'am Sophia called me to her office. Gloria, I was thinking, she began, matagal ka nang hindi nakakauwi sa inyo, di ba? Kay Junior. Tumango ako. Opo, ma'am. Last month pa po, nung bago ako mag-start dito. Next weekend, she said, it's a long weekend, Monday is a holiday. Kailan don't you take a 3-day leave? Umuwi ka. Spend time with your son. You deserve it, ako na ang bahala dito. And my eyes widened. Talaga po, ma'am? Naku, salamat po ng marami. Kagalakan. I couldn't stop the wide grin from spreading across his face. Ang tagal ko nang gustong umuwi. No problem, Gloria. Just enjoy your time. And give Junior a hug for me. The following Friday afternoon, bit-bit ang maliit na bag ng mga pasalubong, prutas, ilang laruan na nabili ko sa Divisoria, at yung paboritong biskit ni Junior, sumakay ako ng bus papuntang Batangas. Doon kasi sa isang maliit na bayan nakatira ang kapatid kong si Marisa, kung saan niya inaalagaan si Junior habang nagtatrabaho ako sa Maynila. The journey felt shorter than usual, siguro dahil sa excitement. Pagbaba ko ng jeepney sa kanto ng street nila, tanaw ko na agad ang maliit nilang bahay na paupahan. At sa may bintana, nakadungaw ang isang pamilyar na figura. Naay. Junior. He scrambled down from the window and ran towards me, his small legs carrying him as fast as they could. Nanay. Dumating ka na. Nabitawan ko ang mga dala ko at napaluhod ako, opening the arms wide. He crashed into me, his small arms wrapping tightly around my neck. I hugged him back, burying my face in his hair, inhaling his sweet, familiar scent. Pag-ibig. Pure, unconditional love. Ang lahat ng pagod, lahat ng hirap, lahat ng sakit, parang biglang naglaho. This was Kaivai endured everything. For this moment. For him. Anak, I whispered, deep voice thick with emotion, tears welling up. Na-miss ka ni nanay. Sobra. Miss na miss din po kita, Nay, he said, his voice muffled against Invai's shoulder. Marisa came out, smiling. 8. Buti nakauwi ka. Salamat sa pag-aalaga kay Junior, Isa, sabi ko, habang karga-karga ko pa rin ang anak ko na ayaw bumitaw. The next 2 days were pure bliss. Naglaro kami ni Junior, nagkwentuhan, kumain ng mga paborito niya. I helped Marisa with the chores. We went to the nearby beach one afternoon, and Junior squealed with delight as the small waves tickled his feet. For the first time in a long, long time, felt genuinely happy, genuinely at peace. Paghilom. The wounds from the past few weeks, the accusations, the fear, they were starting to heal. On Sunday afternoon, July's last day before heading back to Manila, Junior and I were sitting on the small porch, watching the sunset paint the air with hues of orange and purple. He was leaning against me, contentedly munching on a piece of fruit. Nay, he said softly. Sana dito ka na lang lagi. In my heart etched. Kailangan ni nanay magtrabaho, anak. Para sa'yo. Para sa gamot mo, sa pag-aaral mo. Alam ko po, he sighed. Pero miss pa rin kita pag wala ka. I kissed the top of his head. Miss na miss din kita, anak. Babalik ulit si nanay, promise. Just then, tricycle stopped in front of their gate. I frowned. Wala naman kaming inaasahang bisita. The driver got off, then opened the passenger side. And in my breath hitched. It was Thomas. Sir Thomas. Here. In Batangas. He was wearing a simple polo shirt and jeans, looking a bit out of place, but also surprisingly relaxed. In his hand, he was holding a small bouquet of sunflowers. Sunflowers. My favorite. How did he even know? Junior looked at him curiously. Nay, sino po siya? I was too stunned to speak. Thomas walked towards us, a hesitant smile on his face. Hi, Gloria. Hi, Junior. He crouched down to Junior's level. Ang laki mo na pala. I'm Thomas, kaibigan ni nanay mo. Junior, usually eager with strangers, just stared at him, then a slow smile spread across his face. Hello po, Kuya Tomas. Thomas straightened up and looked at me, his eyes soft. Pasensya na kung bigla akong sumulpot. I asked your sister for the address. Sabi niya, baka matutuwa ka sa surprise. He offered me the sunflowers. Para sa'yo. In my hands trembled as I accepted the flowers. Their bright yellow faces seemed to mirror the sudden burst of sunshine in my heart. Sir Thomas, bakit po kayo nandito? Tomas na lang, Gloria. Please, he said, his smile widening a bit. Naisip ko lang baka kailangan mo ng kasabay pabalik ng Maynila bukas. I have some business to attend to nearby din kasi. And I wanted to meet Junior properly. His gaze flickered to Jim Bison, then back to me, you warmth in his eyes that made my cheeks burn. Marissa came out, a knowing smile on her face. Ate, si Sir Tomas pala. Nagtanong kasi siya sa akin kung saan ka raw nakatira. She winked. So, it was conspiracy. Later that evening, after Junior had fallen asleep, after much coaxing, dahil ayaw paawat sa pakikipaglaro kay Kuya Tomas, Tomas and I found ourselves sitting on the same porch, under the soft glow of a single light bulb. The crickets were chirping and the air was cool. Salamat sa pagpunta, Tomas, I said softly, still a bit overwhelmed. At salamat sa bulaklak. He shrugged, a blush creeping up his neck again. Wala ayun. I wanted to see you. And to make sure you're okay. We sat in comfortable silence for a while, just watching the stars. Alam mo, Gloria, he began, his voice low, nung mga unang araw mo sa shop, I admit, I was worried. Your mother, she's been taken advantage of before new employees. Kaya siguro naging praning din ako. I nodded, understanding. Pero nung nakita ko kung paano mo binalik yung pera, despite everything and then, yung nangyari kay Rita, I realized how wrong it was about you. How strong you are. And how honest. He turned to me, his eyes sincere. Hinahangaan kita, Gloria. Sobra. In my heart did somersault. Pag-ibig. Or the beautiful beginnings of it. Ikaw din, Tomas, I whispered. Kung hindi dahil sa'yo, hindi malalaman ang totoo. You saved me. He reached out and gently took my hand. His touch was warm, firm. We saved each other, I think. He looked at our joined hands, then back at my eyes. Gloria, pwede bang manligaw? The question hung in the air, as bright and hopeful as the sunflowers he gave me. Tears welled up in his eyes, but this time, they were tears of pure, unadulterated joy. Kagalakan. A new beginning. A chance at happiness, not just for me, but for Junior too. I looked at him, at this kind, quiet man who saw past the circumstances, who believed in me when no one else did, who traveled all the way here just to see me, to offer ride, to give me flowers. And with a heart full of hope and a smile that reached my soul, I nodded. Tomas. Puede. His answering smile was dazzling, transforming his usually serious face into something boyishly handsome. He squeezed my hand gently. Sa ilalim ng mga bituin sa Batangas, kasama ang tahimik na pangako ng isang bagong umaga, naramdaman ko. Ito na ayun. Ang simula ng panibagong kabanata. Isang kabanata ng pag-ibig, paghilom at walang katapusang pag-asa. Ang mga lihim sa mga damit ay nahugasan na, at ang naiwan ay ang busilak na katotohanan ng puso. Sige, heto ang isang liham mula sa manunulat para sa inyo, mga minamahal kong mambabasa. Isang munting sulat mula sa inyong manunulat. Mahal kong mga mambabasa. Una sa lahat, hayaan ninyong yakapin ko kayo ng mahigpit sa pamamagitan ng mga salitang ito. Kung narating ninyo ang bahaging ito, ibig sabihin, sinamahan ninyo si Gloria sa kanyang bawat pagtawa, pag-iyak, pagkabigo at tagumpay. At para doon, mula sa kaibuturan ng aking puso, maraming salamat po. Ang pagsulat ng kwentong Ti Mga Lihim sa Mga Damiti o anuman ang magiging final title nito sa inyong isipan, ay isang emosyonal na paglalakbay din para sa akin. Bawat karakter, si Gloria na puno ng determinasyon, si Tomas na tahimik ngunit malalim, si Maam Sofia na may tinatagong kabutihan, at kahit si Rita na nagbigay kulay at inis sa ating kwento, ay naging parang totoong mga taong nakasalamuha ko. May mga gabing napupuyat ako kay isip kung paano ko bibigyang hustisya ang kanilang mga kwento, kung paano ko maipaparamdam sa inyo ang bawat kilig, selos, sakit, at pag-asa na kanilang naramdaman. Nais kong lumikha ng isang mundong pamilyar, yung tipong mararamdaman ninyo ang alinsangan ng Maynila, ang ingay ng jeepney, ang init ng samahan sa isang munting laundry shop, at ang bigat ng mga problemang pang-araw-araw. Sa likod ng mga romansa at drama, ang pinakalayunin ko po ay maibahagi ang ilang mahahalagang mensahe. Ang katapatan ay kayamanan, sa mundong puno ng tukso at pangangailangan, mahirap manindigan sa tama. Ngunit tulad ng ipinakita ni Gloria, ang katapatan, gaano man kaliit o kalaki, ay may dalang kapayapaan sa kalooban at di matatawarang respeto mula sa iba. Huwag husgahan ang aklat sa kanyang pabalat. Bawat isa sa atin ay may kanya-kanyang pinagdaraanan, mga lihim na laban na hindi nakikita ng iba. Naway matuto tayong maging mas mapang-unawa at hindi agad manghusga. Ang pag-asa ay laging nariyan, kahit sa pinakamadilim na sandali, laging may sisilip na liwanag. Ang mahalaga ay huwag tayong bibitaw sa pag-asang iyon at patuloy na lumaban. Ang kapangyarihan ng pangalawang pagkakataon, lahat tayo ay nagkakamali, ngunit lahat din tayo ay karapat-dapat sa pangalawang pagkakataon, pagkakataong itama ang mali, magbago at magmahal muli. Pamilya ang ating lakas, ang pagmamahal sa pamilya, tulad ng ipinakita ni Gloria, para kay Junior, ang nagbibigay sa atin ng hindi masukat na lakas para harapin ang anumang pagsubok. Ngayong natapos na natin ang kwento, gusto ko sanang marinig ang inyong mga saloobin. Ano ang pinakapaborito ninyong eksena? Aling karakter ang pinakatumatak sa inyo? Mayroon ba kayong sariling Gloria T.O.T. Thomas moment sa inyong buhay? Huwag po kayong mahiyang i-share ang kwentong ito sa inyong mga kaibigan, pamilya, o kahit sa inyong social media, kung sa tingin ninyo'y kapupulutan din nila ito ng aral at inspirasyon. At syempre, mag-iwan po kayo ng inyong mga komento at reaksyon. Bawat salita mula sa inyo ay mahalaga at nagbibigay sa akin ng karagdagang inspirasyon para sa mga susunod pang akda. Muli, isang taos-pusong pasasalamat sa inyong lahat. Hanggang sa muli nating pagkikita sa mga pahina ng susunod na kwento. Nagmamahal. Ang inyong manunulat.